If there were more vegans and people eating a plant-based diet, what would happen to our countryside? Our beautiful rolling hills, all of the grazing animals, the way it looks right now as people are in love with the British countryside, as I'm sure they are in many other countries as well. Now, this is a question that many people ask, and it sort of is linked as well with, do vegans want farmers to go out of business? Do vegans not care about their farming communities? And this is absolutely not true and not where we're coming from at all. We aren't here to destroy anything. We are here to help find solutions to situations that at the moment are destroying us. The way we're farming at the moment is actually destroying our countrysides. They might look beautiful, but really they're quite barren of wildlife and biodiversity. I wasn't aware of this until I did a degree actually in environmental management, and I really found out the extent and the problems that we do have in the environment today, because we have industrialized everything, and our insects, our small mammals, our birds some of them are already gone. Lots of them are rapidly decreasing and in decline. They're heading towards extinction. And this is because of the way we are farming today. So that might upset some people. And I'm not here to point fingers or blame anyone. It's just the way it has progressively become. And the system has turned into this machine right now that is not really serving anybody in the long term. It's not helping us and our health. It's not helping the health of the planet because of the biodiversity issues. And it's definitely not serving animals, whether they be wild or farmed, because both of them are suffering. So if we had a more vegan world, a more plant-based world, and I truly believe that one day we will do, I hope it's sooner than later, what could our countryside really look like? Well, the fact is, the rolling hills, the beautiful greenery, the lush, wonderful countryside that we now see, a lot of that would still remain because we would be growing plants. The plants in the fields may be different. They might be different types because lots of those fields right now are growing food for animals, whereas we would want to grow more food for humans. But ultimately, of course, we would still have thousands of farmers, but they would be growing different crops for a different purpose, or they wouldn't be farming animals, they would be farming plant foods, plant proteins, things that are ultimately great for our health rather than things that destroy our health. So let's think about that. What could that look like? And could we really do that? Is there enough space to realistically grow enough plants to feed human beings? And the truth is, we could do it actually very, very, very easily. The numbers show us that actually grazing animals and growing all of the food that they need to eat, because there are a lot more animals than people, something like 77 billion animals that are currently alive due to be killed for humans to eat, and about 8 billion, just less than people. So obviously that's a lot of animals that need a lot of food, and most of them are eating plant foods. So just think about that for 1 minute. Of course, it makes sense that there's enough space for us to grow plant foods, to cut out that feeding the animal and just feed people instead. So it would be quite easy to do that in the sense of land, space and use. And yes, we absolutely do have enough. But really, the exciting part about the fact that if there were more people eating plants and not animals, not grazing animals, the exciting part is that we would be able to rewild huge areas of our land and our countryside all over the world, globally. And we would be able to have wild areas that are actually natural in terms of, for their location, whether it's a dry location or wet location. At the moment, we are trying to put animals on land that perhaps is too dry, or perhaps should be woodland or something else. And we are trying desperately to keep things sort of universal and in a way that is not natural. So if we could rewild more areas of our countryside, and we would allow natural ecosystems to flourish and develop and re-normalize the countryside to what our climate, wherever we may be, should look like, that would almost instantly allow the insects and the birds, the mammals, the amphibians to all come back, thrive and live where they are supposed to be living. And it's actually that process of having an ecosystem correct for its geographic location that allows us to live in harmony with nature. It gives us our clean air, our clean water. It gives us the oxygen that we need to breathe. It's a carbon sink. It does so many fantastic things. And it allows our wild animals to have a home again, because we are depleting them at incredible, terrifying numbers. And the IUCN, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, they publish every year how many animals are on the list for being possibly due for extinction, which ones are vulnerable, which ones are thriving. And it's animal agriculture that is the main and predominant cause for species extinction in the wild. So really, we have to do something about that if we really do care about nature and we want to allow our biodiversity to come back into balance and we can all live on this planet together. So no, vegans do not want to see our countryside ruined. We do not want to see farmers going out of business. We want to help farmers to move over to a more plant-based way of farming, which will just naturally be less polluting. It will take less space, and it will not cause any cruelty and suffering, which is really, of course, such a beautiful thing. We can feed the world's hungry people. We can feed the world's people that aren't hungry, that are eating too much, with more healthy foods, and we could live in more harmony with nature. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Bye.